Greetings. I'm Laura Puccia Valtorta, a content creator, and this is my podcast of short stories entitled B is for Bisexual, Season 2, Episode 7. Reading with me today are my son Dante.
Hello.
And my husband Marco.
Buongiorno.
Dear listener, today we are going to do something different. We are reading from my screenplay for a feature film that I hope to do in the future, a dark comedy entitled Zoom Hit. I've made several films, all available on Amazon and Tubi, such as Bermuda, Disaster Man, You Feel Me, Disability, and lots of documentaries. But before I spend the time and effort on producing a scripted narrative film, I need to make sure the script is just what I need. I workshop it a lot. I read it aloud. Maybe I even host some staged readings. Then I write and rewrite. This podcast will be like a staged reading, with me reading the stage directions and Dante and Marco and myself saying the lines for the characters. Dante will be reading the lines for the lawyer, Silvia Moretti. Marco will be reading as Wyshonda Evans, the artist. I will be the paralegal, Lillian, entomologist, and several other roles, such as the neighbor girl, Dominica, and Cedric, the process server, some policemen and stuff. There's a terrible lawyer, Johnny Boozer, and then there's Eddie, the doctor friend. I'm going to read for those people too. And at the end of this reading, the first part of the screenplay, I will preview part 2 and talk a little bit about my casting. Casting for a film is always difficult and fun. So now, part 1 of the comedy, Zoom Hit. Do-do-do-do! Interior, Office of Silvia Moretti, J.D., Knight. Silvia, in her 30s, a renegade attorney, is working late at her downtown fancy modern law office. She wears yellow pants, black slogan-heavy t-shirt, pink Nikes, frizzy, free hair, henna tattoos. Sylvia's desk and work table are piled high with folders and paperwork. She has 2 computers, one on her desk and one on the work table. File cabinets line the wall. A red punching bag on a stand is next to her desk. A pair of pink boxing gloves are in the corner. Sylvia is seated writing on her computer when Cedric Williams, 45, process server, walks into the office. Cedric is tough but cool. He wears jeans and a leather jacket.
Hi, Cedric.
How's it going?
I hate the law, that's how it's going. It treats people like pigs.
But you're a lawyer. Have you got that paperwork for me to serve?
I changed my mind. I don't want Bobby served. You still get paid.
You mean you're paying me to avoid serving this rule to show cause?
That's right. I don't want Bobby to end up in jail.
And your client is Emily, the wife. I don't get it.
Okay, Bobby has colon cancer. He's out of work. He can't afford to pay child support. Just shut up and go buy yourself a fancy dinner.
Sylvia stands up, walks around the desk, and hands Cedric a check. All right. What about the wife?
Yeah, what about her? She's sleeping with the mayor, but she won't do any reconnaissance for me.
Does Mr. Boozer know about this?
No, and don't tell him.
Sylvia leans menacingly towards Cedric and puts her arms akimbo.
You're asking too many questions.
Cedric backs away and raises the palms of his hands in self-defense. Yes, ma'am. Time for some sushi.
And don't call me ma'am.
Cedric exits the office in a hurry. Sylvia stretches, fluffs up her beautiful frizzy hair, and puts on the boxing gloves. She shadow boxes for a moment and then begins hitting the punching bag. We can see the front of Silvia's computer screen. A zinging sound indicates she has a message. She sits down and stares at the screen. She tries to type and then struggles to remove the boxing gloves. Silvia begins a Zoom conference with Eddie Flanders, MD, 55, who is at his office in Charleston, South Carolina. He has a smiling picture of himself and Ted Kennedy behind him hanging on the wall.
Silvia, sweetheart, still working? Up late? What you doing?
A red light on the computer screen blinks, recording.
We're like threatening a processor. No one wants to follow my orders.
You're too bossy. Tell me something sweet.
I just finished a brief on that dangerous antibiotic. We need to take down Pharmaking.
My expert testimony will do the trick.
Well, it better. Johnny is going to be angry at me when he finds out I sent some confidential discovery materials to the press. We're under a court order not to do that.
Ha! You wouldn't be able to get away with that if you weren't sleeping with your boss.
Yuck! I'm not having sex with Boozer.
But he does want to amortize you.
Well, I have some insurance against that.
Silvia holds up a fist.
Why don't you just say fuck?
I swear, you're so refreshing.
Can't wait to see you.
Eddie zones out and says nothing. He appears distracted by the paperwork on his desk and, of course, by his cell phone.
It's almost May, you know. Our tickets to Spoleto?
In the background of Eddie's office, we hear the sound of a door opening.
May is the best time to visit Charleston. Hot days, cool nights.
So how's the transplant business?
I always prefer working with artificial organs. That's the future. The billion-dollar invention. Plastic hearts,
Kidneys. Off to the side of the screen, the shooter enters, 6 feet tall, wearing a clown suit that completely covers his or her head and body. The shooter appears on the Zoom screen. The shooter is wearing fluorescent green Nike shoes.
Hey Eddie, what's happening? Look out!
The shooter approaches Eddie, pulls out a gun, and shoots Eddie in the head. We see Silvia's horrified face, not the screen, as the shooting happens. The long, slender hand holding the gun is covered with a glove. The shooter withdraws the gun under their clown costume and then turns around and exits the screen. Eddie has a surprised look on his face. His body falls sideways off the chair. There's a splattering of blood. Silvia screams several times. She stands up and then wavers as if she's about to pass out. Silvia grabs the side of her desk.
Eddie, oh my god, oh shit, no!
Silvia picks up her cell phone and dials 911. She is sobbing as she speaks. She has trouble breathing.
I was in a Zoom call with my best friend Eddie. He's a doctor. He got shot. Oh my god, I think he's dead. No, he's in Charleston. I saw the whole thing in my computer. Shit, I'm going to be sick.
Silvia throws up in a wastebasket. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Interior, house of Silvia and Wyshonda Evans. Same. Silvia runs into the living room crying. She is nervous, jumping around, almost falling over the couch. She deposits her cell phone into a bird-shaped bowl on the end table. Silvia is panting, frantic, and scared. Silvia's house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath bungalow in the Shandon neighborhood of Columbia, South Carolina, an older brick home within walking distance of restaurants and shops. The living room contains a large leather sectional sofa, a television, bookshelves, and plenty of colorful, quirky paintings.
Why? Where are you? Eddie got shot. I saw it on the computer. I saw everything. Oh my god, like he's literally dead.
Wyshonda Evans, 36, Silvia's housemate, walks out of her bedroom sleepily, wearing night clothes. Wyshonda is an artist, and her night clothes are ripped and colorful. She has a turban around her luxurious hair.
Shit, Sylvia. It's 2 a.m.
Sylvia runs over and grabs Wyshonda in a powerful hug.
Oh, it was so horrible. I was on Zoom call with Eddie, and then a clown shot him.
Is this a joke?
No, the clown just killed him. I called the police. I was recording it, recording the Zoom call.
Wyshonda's eyes widen and she seems to wake up. She leads Sylvia to the sofa and pushes her onto it. Sylvia begins rocking back and forth.
Did you see who did it?
Yes. Well, no, they were wearing a clown costume.
Stay there. You look sick. I'm making some tea.
The camera follows Wyshonda into the kitchen as she selects some tea and starts the water boiling in a plug-in kettle.
I'm sorry that Ed is dead, I guess. He was a shithead. Not exactly my favorite person.
Hey, don't say that. His head got blown away.
He treated you badly.
Wyshonda sets the tea things on a tray.
Yes, he's married, but he was funny and interesting. I loved him. Oh my god, and now he's dead.
Sylvia weeps silently, hiding her face. Wyshonda carries the tea things into the living room.
He put every waitress in a big squeeze, right in front of you. He was like a crazy octopus.
Sylvia stands up to confront Wyshonda.
Yeah, Eddie was a big fan of personal relationships. Everybody loved him.
So, who wanted him dead?
I don't know, maybe his wife or the kidney dialysis people.
Sylvia's cell phone rings. She stands up, looks around for it frantically. Wyshonda picks it up from the bird bowl on the side table and hands it to Sylvia.
Hello? Okay, that's me. Yes. I think I can be there in 2 days. No problems with my job. Can you text me the address of the police station? Okay. Officer DeFort.
Wyshonda shakes her head. Sylvia clicks off her phone.
Well, they want me to go to Charleston. Tell them about the Zoom call.
Come on, they have that from his computer.
Maybe. It was my idea we talk. I sent him the Zoom link.
Sylvia collapses onto the couch again and puts her head into her hands.
Is it possible that they think you killed him?
What? Of course not. I was 3 hours away, here in Columbia.
I don't know. Maybe you hired a hit woman.
Eddie was the person I lived for. He was funny and made me feel good about myself. Well, sometimes. Why would I kill him?
Wyshonda rolls her eyes, shakes her head, and crosses her arms in front of her chest.
He was an asshole. If you're driving to Charleston, I'm going with you.
Would you? I thought you hated me. I can't do this on my own. Thank you.
Hey, you let me live here in exchange for art. It's the least I can do. Besides, I want to find out who killed Eddie. Who had the balls?
Interior, bedroom of Silvia Moretti, same. Silvia is in bed, lying flat on her back and staring at the ceiling. One hand is thrown over her head. Tears are streaming down her face. Silvia turns to one side, her face toward the camera. She is depressed and traumatized and wondering why she is still alive and Eddie is dead. Her hands are trembling. Interior, office of attorney Johnny Boozer, day. Sylvia is standing in front of the desk of attorney Johnny Boozer, 55, a square-headed Ken doll type of person, partner in the law firm and Sylvia's boss. Boozer's office is bigger and fancier than Sylvia's office. There is less paperwork and clutter than in Sylvia's office, and fewer signs that Johnny is doing any sort of work. So, you want the week off to go to Charleston because your boyfriend died? Johnny drums his fingers on his desk, unhappy with the situation.
He's not a boyfriend. He was 55 years old.
We have a big hearing next week.
He was murdered right in front of my eyes.
Were you married to this guy?
No, but I was dating him for the past 3 years. He was our best expert witness on the dangerous drug cases.
I don't see the importance of this.
I'm traumatized from witnessing an assassination. I can't sleep, and the police need my help.
Did they subpoena you?
No, I agreed to go. I'm sorry I have to do this. Wait, I'm not sorry. No vacation for the past 2 years, remember?
By the way, did you disclose Genzer's trade secrets to the Post and Courier? That information was sealed under court order.
Yes, Genzer is marketing a dangerous drug to children.
Johnny stands up and clenches his fist as if he wants to strangle Silvia. Why, we're going to get sanctioned by the judge.
I delivered Genzer's data to the newspaper office in a wheelbarrow.
Silvia throws a couple of shadow punches. You're fired, and I might report you to the bar.
No, you won't. You slept with Judge B.J. Steiner during our trial, and I have proof. Text messages and emails copied to several places.
Silvia turns to leave.
Oh, Steiner, baby. Hit me with the gavel, you stupid jerk.
Interior Secretary's office, right outside Johnny Boozer's office. Same. On her way out, Silvia storms through the outer office where Boozer's secretary, Lillian Jowl, 31, is reading Sex on Six Legs by Marlena Zuck. Lillian has spiked purple hair, a doughy face, and an aggressive attitude. She watches Silvia with interest, her eyes narrowed. There are several large plastic bugs on Lillian's desk. A trombone stands in the corner. Hey, wait, slow down. Get me out of here. I want to work with you. Silvia pulls Lillian into the hall.
You killed that obnoxious intern, the one who was feeling everybody up. How did you do that?
Not killed. I sent him to Tampa to live at a retirement community.
He was 21 years old.
Oh, well, I paralyzed part of his brain with blood from the jewel wasp. I'm an entomologist. It's a hobby. Silvia backs away, shaking her head and shrugging. I don't do that to everybody, just people who piss me off.
I'll think about it.
Silvia storms out of the office. Lillian picks up the trombone and begins to play. Do, 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 do. Johnny from the next office, quiet. Do, 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 do. Exterior, front yard of Silvia Moretti, day. Sylvia and Wyshonda are putting their suitcases and bags of snacks into the trunk of Sylvia's green Kia Soul. Sylvia's boxing gloves and gym bag go into the car.
I am so glad you're coming with me.
I can't wait to jazz up your life with my idea for a combo law office art gallery.
First, we need to search for Eddie's murderer.
Art matters more than murder. Art equals life.
From the porch next door, neighbor kid Domenica, 10, watches the women pack up the car. She has her Barbie dolls on the porch.
Hi, Domenica. Don't you have school today?
We have the day off. It's teacher training day. Lillian walks into the driveway, rolling a suitcase behind her. She is carrying a trombone case. Hi, I'm here to help.
What the?
Who are you?
Lillian Jowl, paralegal and bug expert.
You can go home now. The exterminator just left.
Bugs are my friends. Lillian and Wyshonda stand face to face and glare at each other.
What's with the trombone?
The power of big brass helps me control people.
Lillian, we're about to leave for Charleston. I only booked one hotel room. The hotel is full.
Well, I can bend the minds of judges with wasp venom, so getting a hotel clerk to add another room is no big problem.
She forced one of Boozer's disgusting frat boy associates to move to retire in Florida. He was 21 years old.
No. This is a vacation for us.
Not a vacation, a criminal investigation. Get in the car, Lillian. You can be the first one to drive.
Lillian dances a little and snaps her fingers. Can I choose the music?
No way. I might throw up.
On second thought, let me drive first. Move.
Lillian and Wyshonda fight for the front seat.
Wyshonda, you ride shotgun. Lillian, you and the trombone get in the back.
Lillian, Wyshonda, and Sylvia get into the car. As they drive off, the women wave to Domenica.
Bye, Domenica.
Goodbye. Have a fun vacation. Do. Exterior. Sylvia's car en route to Charleston, South Carolina. Same. Lillian is driving now. Wyshonda and Silvia are sitting in the back seat. I feel like a chauffeur.
That's what you are, bitch.
One injection of wasp blood into your medulla oblongata, I can make you fall in love with Dolly Parton.
Who says I don't like her already?
And bluegrass.
Ladies, we can help each other. Let's be friendly. We can duke it out later.
Cut the kumbaya crap. You might be under arrest once we get to Charleston.
Yeah, what made you go for that Dr. Eddie guy? He was old and creepy. Sylvia looks out the window and sees a squirrel or other animal dead on the road. She tears up and sobs at the thought of death.
You know, just when I finally fall in love with someone, he gets assassinated.
I can make a painting out of it.
Lillian nods her head in agreement. Sylvia fluffs up her hair for moral support.
Don't worry, your hair looks great.
In this life, you have to butcher your own hogs. Don't ever depend on nobody else, especially men.
I thought you were married.
To a nurse, duh, who gets me supplies. Wyshonda and Sylvia look at each other. You know, syringes for the wasp venom, capsules for the coffee.
Marriage is for idiots.
Except married people get more sex.
What about your own love life, Why? What about Elliot?
What about him?
Doesn't he have a big concert coming up?
It's ragged.
He seems like a nice guy. He bought some of your art.
He sings ragged.
What kind of music does he have to sing for you to like him?
You know, rap. Queen don't come, get that bread, get that hat, then leave. Peace out. Beat king.
Wyshonda raps and mimics steering the wheel of a car. Lillian glares in the mirror at Wyshonda. Musicians are often drug addicts.
What about you? Weaponizing the trombone and warping people's mind with bug juice.
I am a scientist, married to a nurse.
Nurses can be drug addicts too.
My Billy is a nice guy. Sylvia is still crying a little and sniffling.
Stop crying about Eddie. He was a dog.
But I loved him.
Forget about love. Think about what a partner can do for you, getting you supplies and shit. Wyshonda and Sylvia are holding hands. You two look pretty cozy.
We're friends.
Do. Exterior, Charleston, South Carolina. Pluff Mud Hotel. Same. Parked in front of the hotel, Sylvia, Lillian, and Wyshonda are retrieving their luggage from the trunk of Sylvia's car.
I hope I got my own room.
Lillian can take care of yourself, but why? You're sharing with me.
We're sharing? Shit.
Like I said, caring and sharing.
You know you love me.
Too many albinos.
Interior, Charleston, Pluff Mud Hotel lobby, same. Officer Andre Dufour, 41, a dark-haired, handsome French-American police officer, arrives to escort Sylvia to the police department. He walks up to greet Silvia, Wyshonda, and Lillian. Ladies, you must be Ms. Moretti and friends. Sylvia and Wyshonda smiled stupidly. Lillian frowns and folds her arms over her chest. Lillian taps her feet.
I'm Wyshonda Evans. This is Silvia Moretti and Lillian Jowl.
Sylvia holds out her hand.
So nice to meet you. I didn't think you would meet us at the hotel.
This is a fresh investigation. We need your help. The wife is not being very cooperative. She almost seems glad her husband is dead.
Sounds right.
Let's have a chat before I escort you to the station. Do you have your room keys?
Oh, yes, right here.
I know you ladies must be tired. Meet me at that diner across the street in an hour. Officer Dufour exits the lobby.
Nice ass.
I want to spike his coffee.
Let's hear what he has to say before we paralyze him, okay?
Diner across from hotel. Same. After showering and changing clothes, Silvia, Lillian, and Wyshonda have joined Officer Dufour at a diner across the street from the hotel. They are seated at a booth. The diner is almost empty, except for a couple of customers, including a homeless man, actually, Detective Fred Dorcas, 30, in sunglasses, wig, and a Hawaiian shirt, reading a newspaper at the counter. I wanted to brief you before we got to the station. I'm not supposed to do this. The chief thinks you have something to do with the assassination, Miss Silvia. Sylvia's eyes widen.
Are all policemen crazy?
I knew it.
She didn't do it. She's a city girl.
I was in Columbia when this happened. Eddie was my best friend.
The chief was talking to your boss, Mr. Johnny Boozer. Johnny Boozer is an idiot and an ass-kisser. Not even worth paralyzing. Officer Dufour looks at Lillian with confusion.
Well, she is right. Boozer is a real turd brain.
Ms. Moretti, you kind of have a reputation as a renegade. Flippant attitude, you do whatever you want, that sort of thing.
And your point is?
You don't exactly follow the rules of law.
She's a disability attorney, among other things. She had my brother get benefits.
Sylvia places her hand on Wyshonda's arm.
Listen, I help people who need the most help, even if it is against the law. But I would never kill anybody.
Your boss is not so sure.
My former boss is a lazy pencil dick with no morals and no integrity, who made me do all of his work for the past 7 years.
A good description. Wyshonda slaps the table and partially stands up.
You've got a lot of nerve attacking Sylvia like that.
Sylvia motions for Wyshonda to sit down.
The law is not always on the right side, officer.
Officer Dufour looks around to see if anyone in the diner is listening. The homeless man, a.k.a. Detective Fred Dorcas, is still there reading a newspaper at the counter. You're preaching to the choir here. I'm trying to give you a heads up. We never had this conversation, right?
I appreciate you giving me the poop here. I didn't kill Eddie. I loved him, okay?
Then try to help us find the real killer. Officer Dufour, Wyshonda, Lillian, and Sylvia get up to leave the diner. The homeless man, a.k.a. Detective Fred Dorcas, watches them go out the door. You two go on without me. I need to get some rest back at the hotel. Eat donuts. Do-do-do-do. Interior, Charleston Police Station, waiting room, same day. Wyshonda and Sylvia, angry and tired, are waiting to speak to the police captain. The waiting room is shabby and smelly. The women are sitting on standard metal chairs. The walls are adorned with posters with anti-drug messages and pictures of doped-up mothers. When you shoot up, your baby shoots up. Detective Fred Dorcas, this time dressed in his police uniform, is dozing or pretending to doze in the corner. A terse female police officer, Detective Sonny Gregory, any age, no nonsense, hair very short, is manning the desk, writing on a computer, and glaring at the women from time to time.
How come the police never get it right?
Because they're stupid.
Sylvia looks at Detective Gregory.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean you.
Detective Gregory stares at the women, then she smiles.
The world is full of porky people.
You can say that again.
Police Chief Derek Randall, 50, a square man with short hair, comes to get Sylvia. Ms. Moretti, come with me, please. Sylvia stands up and sighs, looks back at Wyshonda and makes a face. Chief Randall motions for her to precede him into his office. Do-do-do-do. Interior, Office of Police Chief Randall, same day. The office is bare except for a small mirror hanging on the wall with a metal desk, 2 visitors' chairs, and a window that looks onto a brick wall. There is also a small dorm-sized refrigerator. Chief Randall has one photograph on his desk of his wife and 2 children, all of whom look as square and conservative as he does. There is also a box of Kleenex on his desk. Chief Randall watches Sylvia from behind and obviously finds her attractive. He raises his eyebrows and nods his head in appreciation of her ass. Chief Randall opens the refrigerator and takes out 2 cold bottles of water.
You thirsty? Water?
Thank you.
Sylvia screws the top off the bottle of water and drinks greedily. Some water spills onto her shirt. Chief Randall watches her appreciatively.
Where's your other friend, the blonde girl?
What girl? She's 32 years old. She went to the hotel to eat donuts. How come you know about her?
Well, the homeless help us out. Tell us what happened 2 days ago, 48 hours ago.
I was working late at my office and I texted Eddie for a Zoom call. He responded after I sent him the Zoom link.
Oh, was that normal behavior for you?
Yes, he was a friend and a lover. I met him 3 years ago at a medical legal conference at MUSC.
You knew he was married. I mean, he had a wife.
Oh yeah, I knew. We were just friends.
The chief moves closer to Sylvia and touches her hair.
Hey, touch me again and I'll sue you out of your next donut.
Oh, sorry. Oh, were you in love with him?
No, I didn't see him that often in person. Maybe 3 times a year when he had a conference or when I could get to Charleston.
What did you know about him?
I knew he had a wife, and I read some of his research papers.
How many people was he having sex with? Bonking, I mean, besides you.
Oh, trust me, it was just me. His wife is a lunatic.
Do you own a gun?
No!
Who would want to kill Eddie, this wonderful, fantastic doctor?
I don't know.
What about all the women he was seeing?
Well, there was his wife.
And a lot more, a lot of muchachas. He was seeing a doctor in Miami, 2 nurses in Chicago, a lawyer in New Jersey, a dialysis patient in St. Louis. Maybe more.
No, not Eddie. He loved me.
Oh, sure thing. And what about the dialysis company?
Well, they might want him killed. Eddie was developing an artificial kidney. Put an end to dialysis.
His wife says a lot of people wanted him dead.
Do you believe her?
Well, his wife's sarcastic, pissed off, a little crazy. But off the record, I believe her. She gave me a list of names and some lemonade. The chief stands up and looks at himself in the mirror, smooths his hair. He looks at Sylvia seductively. We need your email conversations with Dr. Eddie and any letters, love notes. Sylvia stares down at the floor.
Well, they're all here, on my computer, everything. I mean, I can print off copies.
Give them to Detective Gregory, the guard dog out front.
Okay, can I go now?
Yes, but not too far.
Could I go home to Columbia tomorrow?
Well, we're not holding you. We'd prefer you to stick around for a week to help the investigation.
My friends and I were planning to stay here for a vacation anyway. I just wonder if I'm under arrest.
No, but you are a person of interest.
Why would I even be a suspect?
Chief Randall shrugs.
My friends and I might do some sightseeing, take a gullah tour, eat some shrimp.
Just call in once a day.
I'd prefer to contact Officer Dufour.
Whatever, but if you need any real help, call me first. Sylvia stands up to leave.
I don't need anyone's help.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't call me ma'am.
Okay, that is the end of part 1, the first half of Zoom Hit. And I want to say thank you to Dante
Arrivederci.
and Marco
A presto!
for helping me out. And to you, dear listener, I want to say that I thought about casting this film according to type. You know, having them women in their 30s, of a certain color, you know, Sylvia white and Wyshonda dark skin and Lillian very white. But I don't know, you know, I cannot cast a film according to type and be happy with it. I don't think that that's the way the world works. So I might put men in these roles. I don't know. I mean, gender is a social construct. The same as the so-called concept of race is a social construct. So I want to find actors who can convey the emotions in these roles. And I think it's going to be a great film, just like Bermuda, which is my favorite film that I've made with a script. Anyway, dear listener, thank you for being here. And next month, you'll have the second half of the screenplay. Ciao.